Okay, thank you so much.
Little volume increase, if you will be increase, it will be nice, Mother.
Okay. Okay, so now we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, chapter 15, entitled The Saints Narada and Angira Instruct King Chitraketu. So anyone would like to recap what has happened yesterday? Anyone would volunteer to share what is happening in this series of verses? Anybody remembers? Am I audible?
Yes, Mataji, you are audible. But everybody, the moment
Hare
we listen,
Krishna Mataji. May I try?
Rohini Mataji. Yes. I'm waiting. I thought you will raise your hand. Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, yesterday what I read and how much I understood is just this, that Chitraketu Maharaj was inconsolable, and Angira Rishi and Narad Rishi, they come and they explain him, like basically the relationship is temporary and this material world is temporary. So basically what I was learning through Bhagavad Gita, Mataji, what is, it's a temporary world, this
Exactly.
relationship is temporary. So in a gist, that is what I understood, Mataji. So Narad Rishi and Angira Rishi were trying to explain it to him.
Yeah, correct. So the basic philosophy of Bhagavad Gita only has been explained to him in his lamentation condition, where Chitraketu Maharaj is engulfed in the lamentation of losing his son. Okay, in the continuation of it, so in today's verse, so the Angira Muni, he further speaks. Yesterday, I'll just read the translation of text 7, and then we go to the text 8. So in the text 7, the Angira Muni says, as from one seed, another seed is generated, O king, so from one body, the body of the father, through another body, the body of the mother, a third body is generated, the body of the son. As the elements of material body are eternal, the living entity who appears through these material elements is also eternal. So he is just talking about changing of the bodies, which is a basic philosophy of Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter only. The contents of Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter only is being explained here. So he's continuing. So we will just read the text 8, and then after that, Chitraketu Maharaj starts speaking. So we will see the twist. Okay. So who will read this text 8? Any volunteers? Yeah, now Kishore Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji. Deha dehi vibhago yama viveka krutaha pura gyati vyakti vibhago yam yatha vastuni kalpitaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Divisions of generalization and specifications such as nationality and individuality are the imaginations of persons who are not advanced in knowledge. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Actually, there are two energies, material and spiritual. Both of them are ever existing because they are emanations from the eternal truth, the Supreme Lord, because the individual soul, the individual living entity has desired to act in forgetfulness of his original identity since time immemorial. He is accepting different position in material bodies and being designated according to many divisions of nationality, community, societies, species, and so on. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, so this is not anything new that we are learning here. Again, it's the same content. So here again, we know that Prabhupada is also mentioning very beautifully that there are two energies, material and spiritual energy. And though we are spiritual living entities, but because we have a desire to lord over, So we have forgotten our original identity, our relationship with the Supreme Lord, and thus we had to accept a different position, because what happens that the mind carries all the desires. So wherever it goes, so when it is moving from one body to another body also, whatever the desires that are there in the subtle body, it carries over, and based on the desires of the individual soul, they get a new body. So accordingly, they'll get a new body. So, and then when they get a body, they identify themselves with that particular identity. Like, we all have a different identity, right? Like, you may be like, for example, you may be a father. You have a designation of a father, and you may be a son to a parents. You may be a husband to a wife. So all these responsibilities are there because you are identified with the relationships that you have around with you, right? So these designations get created, and this is at the individual level. And at the nationality level, at the national level, they consider, this is my community, this is my family, this is my society, this is my nation, and so on, like that. So this is what Angira Muni is speaking to Chitraketu Maharaj. And it is very basic philosophy only that they are speaking here. So we'll go to the next shloka. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Sindhu Mataji. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams. Very good.
Yes.
Shri Shuka Uvacha. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes.
Shri Shuka Uvacha, text 9. Evam ashvashito raja chitraketur vijo tibihi vimrijya panina vaktram adimlanam abhashata. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Shukadev Goswami continued, thus enlightened by the instructions of Narada and Angira, King Chitraketu became hopeful with knowledge. Wiping his shriveled face with his hand, the king began to speak.
So this is the turning point of the story of Chitraketu Maharaj. It is taking a positive turn. So we have seen how Chitraketu Maharaj was plunged into the shoka, which is difficult for all of us also to imagine, because after obtaining so very rare in the life, after so much of endeavor, the endeavor that Chitraketu Maharaj has done is practically we haven't seen anybody doing. We had so much of determination, as much as that Chitraketu Maharaj, he went to the extent of marrying millions of wives to get one son. It is really an act of tremendous determination. So he is extremely determined man. Chitraketu Maharaj is extremely determined man, and he has one pointed focus. Ekeha Kurunandana, we say, right? So like that, he has one pointed attention, focus, and he was not wavering, and he does not have that chalta hai mentality, nothing like that. But you see that after obtaining, after having achieved, after so much of labor, years and years and years of labor that he has done to get his desire fulfilled, and now what is happening, he has to enjoy only for a short time. He enjoyed that what he wanted, he has desired for, he enjoyed it only for a short time, and he had to lose it in such a, such a very, it's in a total climax in his life, from the heights of joy that and bliss that he was experiencing, and the fulfillment that he was experiencing by having a son, he has crashed down to the abyss of complete utter darkness. So it's a quite a fall, right, for anybody in that situation, right? So what else we can do in that situation except for lamenting, right? So we see that, it just doesn't happen in Chitraketu Maharaj's life. It also happens in so many of our lives also. There are so many times in our lives also when we are, sometimes we are in the top of our career. But suddenly something goes wrong and things crash down. And we see there are so many ambitious children, young children, young students will be there. But some disease strike them and then they are dead. And we have seen so many cases where morning you are all right, but by evening, somebody is dead. So when something happens, how can we react? The only way that one can choose to react is to lament. But here the twist is, in our case, most of our lives just go on like that. It's unfortunate that we do not get any divine intervention in our lives sometimes. But in Chitraketu Maharaj's life, we see that there was a divine intervention in the form of most exalted great personalities like Angira Muni and Narada Muni, who are the most exalted people of the whole planet. That is the mercy of the Lord. They intervene, and we can see that they are coming here without being called for, right? If you have seen the whole chapter, all the story of Chitraketu Maharaj, of course, they were there, earlier. But now when Angira Muni came earlier, when Chitraketu Maharaj met Angira Muni, he had asked for only son. He did not even inquire anything from the spiritual perspective. But when he got the son, when he is in such a distressful situation, generally, what happens, for a devotee, what happens when he is in a distressful situation, they should approach another devotee and go and tell that, oh Mataji or oh Prabhuji, that, I'm having so and so problem, so please help me. We go and ask for help, right? But the first class devotee or a first class friend or a first class well-wisher is a person who proactively identifies that his friend is having a problem and he need to go and help him. This is a very nice culture. What happens many times when we are in deep lamentation, our minds get paralyzed. We cannot go and approach help from the others. In this case, Chitraketu Maharaj was lamenting. His lamentation was so much that even the whole praja, in the previous chapter we have seen, even the whole praja, the population of in his whole country, whole kingdom, everyone is also engulfed in the king's grief. So that's how the lamentation has taken over. He couldn't even, Chitraketu Maharaj couldn't even think of anyone else. He had already met Angira before, earlier, but he could not have thought that, okay, I need some help. Let me send out a letter or, send out a person to request Narada Muni or Angira Muni to meet me and, let me take their help. No. He never thought that, let me take some advice very desperately. But he couldn't think because he was completely paralyzed. That can even happen to us also, right? We go completely blank sometimes. But if some devotee can come to us and gives us good counsel, so that is a change of our life. If we see here, he is going through a crisis, big crisis in his life, Chitraketu Maharaj. But this crisis is going to bring a very good beginning of era in his life, because it's going to bring him a massive change of life because of the intervention of Angira Muni. The new dimensions have opened up. We have seen the same thing several Bhagavatam pastimes also. When there is a big crisis that happens now, there's a very good beginning is going to happen in the devotee's life. right? Like we have seen, Prahlad Maharaj was going through so much, but at the end he had got a darshan of Narsingh Dev, and even Dhruv Maharaj, he had went through insults. But what has happened with his determination, he could take darshan of Supreme Lord, which is not possible to anyone. So here we see that Chitraketu Maharaj is a devotee, even though he says later on, he says that he's a materialistic person, but he is a devotee, because we see that a few verses later even Angira Muni says that you are an advanced devotee. This lamentation that doesn't befit you, like Krishna says to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita that this lamentation doesn't befit you. Like that, Angira Muni gives him knowledge that you're a man of knowledge. Means we can understand that Chitraketu Maharaj is not a normal person. Is not a materialistic person. He is a devotee. But what happened? Even though he is also a devotee, but he could not think of taking help. So what happens? He earlier, when he saw the great sages, he did not ask anything spiritual. He was only asking for material things because his mind was consumed to get a son. Similarly, here, sometimes we may also approach a spiritual master or a spiritual institution for our own comfort. I mean, for to get relief from our misery, or to get some material aspiration, not for such high aspirations. Because we have been fed up, being fed up with the material lives, we may not open up our heart for the highest thing. What the sadhus can give us? The sadhus can give us something which is beyond liberation. That is Pancham Purushartham. It is beyond liberation it can give us. But what happens, like we only go to get some relief, to talk something so that we get some relief, or we seek for some friendship in the institution with other people, or we go there so that we feel very happy, we have some social circle, and we feel like a family, and we also know that there's not so much of backbiting, so you feel emotional relief. And you will also feel very much emotional relief from being cheated and exploited from the outside world also. But we should know that the sadhus can give us much more highest benefit, which in itself is the highest solution, once and for all of us. So this is the great, I mean, many lessons which I have told you now. So this is what we have to learn from this episode of Chitraketu Maharaj. So we can see this, with the few words that are spoken by Angira Muni. He has spoken only 6-7 verses, right? Just 6-7 verses. That's it. And that too very basic philosophy. He is not talking anything about Rasa Lila or Radha Krishna pastimes. In nothing, no rasic philosophy. And the counseling that is being given, this is called an expert counselor. What is given, it is essentially the counseling that is being given is only the basic 2nd chapter contents of Bhagavad Gita. That's it. Even that is enough. So we can see that our philosophy is so high that even the basics are so powerful that they can get out of catastrophes of our lives. Just basic. So, Mataji also said just now that Rohini Mataji, that the Angira Muni was just basically just preaching that all about temporary nature. He's talking about temporary nature of this world. And from Gita, if you compare, he's talking about how to identify the difference between a body and the soul. Just the basics. But even we would have heard those basics so many times. Even an advanced devotee like Chitraketu Maharaj would have heard so many times about this basics. But it can, such advanced devotees also can become oblivious of these basics when we are struck by the illusion of lamentation. So when we hear this every day, But at the right time, sometimes at the right time, we also forget this knowledge. So that it is important to hear basic philosophy again and again for us, because that will come to help us to get out of lamentation. It's not that Radha Krishna Leela or something. Of course, we should hear that, but not those pastimes that help us to come out of the grief, the lamentation that we go through in our lives. The basic things only will help. Like here, Angira Muni has told about the relationship between, he has explained in the relationship between him and the sun, Chitraketu Maharaj and the sun. So we see how Chitraketu Maharaj has now become very completely pacified just by hearing these words. He is getting solaced. He's feeling so much relieved. His heart is open now. So what is he saying? He's saying that because he is understood now, and he understood the philosophy that every jiva is actually a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord is the actual father. And this jiva has happened to come into my family for a short while, and in this way he will be moving from one place to another place, and I will also be moving from one situation to another situation. So actually we are all independent. So he got this understanding, and his intelligence has arisen now, and his mind and his emotions have become very calm, cool, and composed now. That's why now we will see what is he going to speak. Now he's saying that he became very hopeful. The person who is so much engulfed in grief is now feeling so much hope. So we can understand that the sadhus, how can they cut the knots of our attachments in our life, that they can bring a permanent solution, permanent solace in our lives. That's the greatness of the sadhus intervening in our lives. Okay, that is one lesson. And another powerful thing that comes out of this narration is that element of fullness. See how Chitraketu Maharaj is full. He got everything on the planet. Whole planet is his. All the trees, all the rupees, all the gems, all the elephants, all the treasury, whole planet is his. But is he happy with it? He got everything, but if one thing was not there, and he was not happy. So we may also sometimes get into such situation that we may have everything in our life, but one thing is not there that will make us lament for that, for just for one thing. So he understood after that, when he got in touch with Angira Muni, with the instructions of Angira Muni, he understood that the fullness of his life is not with having these possessions. The fullness of life is having Krishna in his life, having Supreme Lord in his life. That is the most powerful thing that comes out of Chitraketu Maharaj episode here. Okay, so we'll move further. Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Raja Uvacha Kauyuvanyana Sampannau Mahistau cha Mahiyasam Avadhutena Veshena Udaviha Samagatau. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada P.J. King Chitraketu said, "You have both come here dressed like Avadutas, liberated persons, just to cover your identities. But I see that of all men, you are the most elevated in awareness. You know everything as it is. Therefore, you are the greatest of all great personalities." Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So here you are seeing that, King Chitraketu Maharaj is not an ordinary person. He could understand that these two persons, first of all, we should know that Angira Muni and Narada Muni did not come as is in front of him. They had come like Avadutas. Can you give an example from the Shastras? Who are those avadutas? Any examples of avadutas?
Nityananda Prabhu. Mataji.
Yeah, Nityananda Prabhu is avaduta.
Chaitanya Nityananda.
Yeah, Nityananda Prabhu, Rishabh Dev. And Dattatreya also. He is also an avaduta. So they have come like that, in a Vesha which is unknown to people, like Avaduts. They have not come in their original form. But still, the word spoken by Angira Muni has enlightened him so much. The Chitraketu Maharaj, he had come back to his senses. And he could able to differentiate now. He could able to understand and identify the personalities, these two great personalities. So he is telling that you are not ordinary souls, because you are speaking such a elevated philosophy. So it means that you are not ordinary people, but you are greatest of all great personalities. That see the shift of Chitraketu Maharaj mind, how much he was engulfed in grief and how he is slowly transformed. That's the greatness of Sadhu's intervention in our life. The divine intervention of Lord, Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord, for his devotees, he sends his representative to help the devotees to come out of the catastrophes of our life. So we should also be devoted to the Lord, so that some help comes like that for all of us in the times of need. Okay, so text 11, Divya Mataji.
चरन्ति हि अवनौ कामं ब्राह्मणा भगवत प्रियाः मद्रसां बुद्धीनां बोधयोनोन्मतालिङ्गिनः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Brahmanas who are exalted to the position of Vaishnavas, the most dear servants of Krishna, sometimes dress like madmen, just to benefit materialists like us, who are always attached to sense gratification and just to dissipate our ignorance. These Vaishnavas wander on the surface of the globe according to their desire. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So here we see that Chitraketu Maharaj is speaking such nice words. So he's telling some Vaishnavas, some great devotees who are like the Brahmanas, who are like in the position of Vaishnavas, who are most dear servants of Krishna. They dress like madmen. Who are some devotees? Anybody can tell that some devotees from the scripture who dress like a madman?
Sukadev Goswami.
Yes. Sukadev Goswami, Rishabh Dev, they all. Sometimes they don't dress attractively. Why? Because they don't want to draw the attention of non-devotee materialists. Like you all know that Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he was actually disturbed by many people who would go to him for wealth, for some material prosperities. So where he would go and chant his holy names? Anybody knows?
The toilets, Mataji.
Yeah, in the public toilets, which is stinking. So he'll go there and chant so that nobody will disturb him. So sometimes the behavior of advanced saintly people is so bewildering for us, because they wear simple dress and they look like avadutas. So like that here, Chitraketu Maharaj is also, he's saying that these great sages, they come like a madman. They dress so simple, they just dress like a madman, but they are very enlightened people. And why they dress like that? Just to benefit the materialist like us. He's saying Gramya Buddhina. So he is telling who are obsessed. Gramya means materialistic. Villagers, village talks, they will tell, no, Gramya Katha. So village talks. So Gramya Buddhina means what does the villagers do? Only materialistic talks, right? They have materialistic conceptions. So he's telling that they come only to help the people who are materialists, and who are attached to sense gratification, and help them to get out of the ignorance, which they are into. So this is the greatness. So this is the greatness that the Vaishnavas, the most exalted devotees of the Lord, does favor. They only favor, they only dress like that, and they come and they speak just for the materialistic people, to help them to come out of their sense gratification. Okay, so we'll move on to the next shlokas, 12 to 15. So, yeah, Rupali Mataji, you can chant. If any other volunteers, then two verses can be chanted. Otherwise, you only chant Mataji, Rupali Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Dharma Mataji.
And
Maro Naradaribu Angira Devalo Shita Apantara Atma Vyaso Markandeyata Gautama Vashishto Bhagavan Rama Kapilo Badrayani Durvasa Yajnavalkyascha Jatu Karnastatha Runi Romasas Chavano Data Asuri Sapatanja Jali Vishira Veda Shira Dhamma Domio Muni Panka Shikhastatha Hiranya Bha Kaushalya Shruta Devavita Dvaja Hete Parecha Siddhe Sascharanti Jnana Hetava. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mataji, please scroll.
yeah, I scroll Mataji.
O great soul, I have heard that among the great and perfect person wandering the surface of the earth to instruct knowledge to people covered by ignorance are Sanat Kumara, Narada, Vibhu, Angira, Devala, Ashita, Apantaratma, Vyasadeva, Markandeya, Gautama, Vashishta, Bhagavan, Parshurama, Kapila, Sukadev, Durvasa, Yajnavalkya, Jatukarna, and Aruni. Others are Romasa, Chavana, Dattatreya, Asuri, Patanjali, the great sage Dhaumya, who is like the head of the Vedas, the sage Pankashika, Hiranyanabha, Kaushalya, Shruta Deva, and Rita Tadvaja. You must certainly be among them. Purport. The word Jnana Hitava.
Mataji, you need not read the purport. I'll just explain.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here, now after speaking about identifying the Narada Muni and Angira Muni as great personalities, he's actually could able to recognize that these two personalities are one among these people. So he is quoting so many names of the sages, various names of the sages he is quoting, because Chitraketu Maharaj could understand by the words of Angira Muni that he is not a normal person, but they must be someone from these so many personalities. So he had recognized, he spoke, he said Narada, he also said Angira. So Narada and Angira, and he is telling that these great souls, they wander. Why do they wander on the surface of the earth? To instruct the knowledge. That's what Prabhupada also says, Jnana Hetava. The great personalities, because that word is very significant, Prabhupada mentions, because this Jnana Hetava. So these great personalities, they wander on the surface of the globe, not to mislead the population, but to distribute the real knowledge. Like even Prabhupada also, traveled the whole globe. Why did he travel the whole globe? Not just to see how each continent, each country, and each people are, how they are dressing, how they are eating. No, sometimes we do that. When what does a materialistic person also goes and they go for a tour, global tour. But we want to know each place, we want to enjoy, we want to eat in the best, every place we go, we go and look for, oh, where is the best restaurant, what is the best food available in this place, and what is the best restaurant, what is the best hotel, what is the best place to visit. So we see that and we go, because this is our materialistic mentality. But the great personalities who are self-realized souls, their only business to travel all over the world, to travel on the surface of the globe, only to distribute the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, so that the human population can take the advantage, and then they can go back to God. That is what they want, anything else. But what we do, we also wander over the globe, but for our own sense gratification, not for self-realization. So here Prabhupada mentions that, no, everyone is everyone needs Krishna consciousness in their lives. Because with the Krishna consciousness, only having Krishna consciousness can, with that knowledge, you can put a full stop to your, the bodies, one body to another body. Otherwise, we have to transmigrate from one body to another body. So Prabhupada mentions that, he gives an example of Maharaj Janaka. So how the Janak Maharaj, even though he's a perfect devotee, but at the same time, see, we all have conditional duties and constitutional duties. What is a constitutional duty? Anybody can say what is a constitutional duty of every living being?
Serving the Lord.
We are the servants of the
Serving the others, Mataji, Sanatana.
Serving the Lord.
No, not others, but serving the Lord. Yes.
Lord.
So to serve the Lord is our constitutional duty. And what are our conditional duties?
So pertaining to daily activities.
Yes.
Occupation.
Yes. So correct. So we are now put into some situation because we have decided that, right? So we all, maybe, mothers, fathers, and whatever. So all those conditional duties, whatever we have, that also, like Janak Maharaj, one should follow like Janak Maharaj, because he has done his conditional duties and also constitutional duties very well. That's why he is a Mahajan. He fulfilled the duty towards, towards his citizens as a king, and he fulfilled the duty as a father towards his daughter. Even though he was doing all these duties, he was always Krishna conscious. He was a protector, he was a provider, he was a guide, everything. But in all the situations, in all his duties, he was still, he never refrained his constitutional duty. Okay, so it is important that we should, mainly, if you see here, in this chapter, the whole chapter is actually talking about how to perform our constitutional duty. Because we may be conditional during the conditional duty, while performing a conditional duty, we may encounter in so many kinds of problems. Sometimes happiness, sometimes joy, sometimes sorrow, whatever it is. But at all times, the constitutional duty should not be refrained. We should always do our constitutional duty. So that is being stressed here. So now here, he is talking about even Chitraketu Maharaj, when he's talking about the great personalities, he's telling why these great personalities are, they are wandering all over the globe just to impart this knowledge of Krishna consciousness so that people perform their constitutional duties along with their conditional duties also. Okay, so we'll move on to the last shloka for today. Okay, sure. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, shall I try Mataji?
Yeah. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Tasmat yuvam gramya pasho mama muda diya prabhu ande tamasi magnasya jnana deepa udir yatam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Because you are the great personalities, you can give me real knowledge. I am as foolish as a village animal, like a pig or a dog, because I am merged in the darkness of ignorance. Therefore, please ignite the torch of knowledge to save me. Purport should I read, Mataji?
Yeah, Mataji, this is very important purport, so you can read the
Purport. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. This is the way to receive knowledge. One must submit oneself at the lotus feet of great personalities who can actually deliver transcendental knowledge. It is therefore said, Tasma Gurum Prapadyeta Jignasu Shreya Uttamam. One who is inquisitive to understand the highest goal and benefit of life must approach a bona fide spiritual master and surrender unto him. Only one who is actually eager to receive knowledge to eradicate the darkness of ignorance is eligible to approach a guru or a spiritual master. The guru should not be approached for material benefits. One should not approach a guru just to cure some disease or receive some miraculous benefit. This is not the way to approach the guru. Tat Vijnanartham, one should approach the guru to understand the transcendental science of spiritual life. Unfortunately, in this age of Kali, there are many bogus gurus who display magic to their disciples, and many foolish disciples want to see such magic for material benefits. These disciples are not interested in pursuing spiritual life to save themselves from the darkness of ignorance. It is said, Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. This gives the definition of the Guru. Everyone is in the darkness of ignorance. Therefore, everyone needs to be enlightened with transcendental knowledge. One who enlightens his disciple and saves him from rotting in the darkness of ignorance in this material world is a true Guru. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mata. So Chitraketu Maharaj is saying that, because you both are great personalities, you can give me real knowledge. And he is considering himself as a foolish, like a village animal, like a pig or a dog, because he is immersed in the darkness of ignorance. So he's asking to ignite the torch of knowledge to save himself. So this is what, like Arjuna asked, please instruct me. Like that, here he is submitting himself. So now we can see the humility of Chitraketu Maharaj here. Even though he was lamenting so much, but actually he is an advanced devotee. That's why even, right after he has become composed, he is exhibiting his humility. So now here in the purport, we see that, very beautifully Prabhupada, first line itself is saying, this is the way to receive knowledge. And after 6, 7, 8 lines, Prabhupada mentioned, this is not the way to approach the Guru, right? He's saying that. So he is giving, Prabhupada is giving how one should approach a guru and how one should not approach the guru, for what one should approach and for what one should not approach the guru. So he is telling, Prabhupada is mentioning that one should approach the guru for transcendental knowledge. Like you see, even Chitraketu Maharaj, he is asking them for the transcendental knowledge. No, he forgot about his son. So he's asking for the real knowledge. He's telling, you can give me real knowledge. So he's asking for the real knowledge. So in the last line of the purport, Prabhupada mentions here the definition of guru. He is giving the definition of guru. So actually, guru means what? Like another guru, like gu means darkness or a great ignorance, and ru means one who destroy the ignorance. So therefore, Prabhupada is giving that definition, that one who destroys the darkness of ignorance, that person is considered to be as, that is a definition of guru. Another meaning of guru means heavy. Heavy means heavy, not in, he is not fat. Heavy means heavy with knowledge, heavy with wisdom. Why? Because he is always situated in Brahman. And he can, because he is situated in the Brahman, he is always situated, having the understanding of Krishna, Krishna's activities, Krishna's Leela, all that, he can also take us, beyond this realm of material world. So a guru is expert in two things. One is expert in understanding the scriptures, and he is expert in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here, you see Chitraketu Maharaj, as I said, he is not only calling himself as, he says that he's Pashu, right? Like Mataji has said that. Ande tamase magnaso. See, Gramya Pashu. He is not telling he is just a Pashu. Tasmat yuvam Gramya Pashu. So he is telling he's a village animal, not just a Pashu. So he's telling, he means to say village animal means what? He's a materialistic, he is trying to say that I'm a materialistic animal. All the time, he's telling that, all the time I'm counting the money, I'm stooped in enjoying the world, I'm expanding my kingdom without thinking, what is the goal of my life. So such humility is, is expressing in front of these great souls. So this is very important. When we seek transcendental knowledge from the great souls, we should express the humility. Like, you find whether it is Sanatan Goswami or whether it is Chitraketu Maharaj also, like that. That humility, what is a humility? Say, when we have an humility, it is like a vessel where you can pour the milk of transcendental knowledge. But if a person is very proud, and if he thinks that, I already know many things, I'm not less learned, or I'm also learned, I'm very intelligent, let us see what he says. Like that, if it is there, then it is actually it's a demonic mentality. That's why here Chitraketu Maharaj humility is also greatly appreciated. It was appreciated even before also. Why? Like, if you all recall, when Chitraketu Maharaj first meets Angira Muni, when he expresses about his, his desire to have a son, that time also he sat down and, with the folded palm and all that. So you may ask, just because he sit down and he is folding his palms, then is this humility means just sitting down and folding our palms? No, actually, humility is expressed at all levels. Humility means it has to be expressed at all levels. At bodily level, there are some external expressions of humility, like you find in Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. For example, from the Shastras I am taking that they used to hold a grass in their tongue. And they would bow down in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nobody does that now, right? We don't do it, right? We don't hold the grass in the teeth and we don't bow down. What does it mean by keeping the grass in the mouth and bowing down? It is actually like a animal. So you are telling graphically, you are telling that I'm like an animal. Like animal chases after sense gratification. I am also like that. Actually, sense gratification is for animals and sense control is for human beings, right? But when you hold a grass, it means that I am almost like animal only. So you are begging that, please uplift me. That's one meaning. And another meaning, this is told by Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. I'm taking reference from Bhakti Charu Maharaj. So another meaning of holding a grass in the teeth is, in between the teeth, means the grass. We all know how insignificant the grass is. So similarly, we are expressing that it is an expression that I am very insignificant. That is also another humility. And there's a humility at the speech level. At the speech level. So you see, at the speech level, what is this Chitraketu Maharaj is saying? He's saying, I'm like an animal. I'm very low class. So he is expressing his humility in the words also. Here. So like he understood that, these people, the personalities that he's seeing in front of him, they are holding the greatest wealth of Krishna Prema, though they have dressed like Avadut. But Chitraketu Maharaj, what is he doing? He's actually submitting himself, like with humility, saying that I am like a village dog. He's expressing his fallen position. I'm a materialistic person. I'm a village dog. That is how a disciple should submit themselves in front of a spiritual master also, right? And they should also adore the great souls. Now here we are seeing even Chitraketu Maharaj is adoring the great souls. He's glorifying these two personalities by saying that, oh, you dressed like Avadut, but you know so much. You are wandering all over the globe is only to make people come to self-realization, to help them for self-realization. So adorable, he's first adoring the great souls, and then he is submitting himself by, talking low about himself. And then he is surrendering by begging from them to give the torch of knowledge, to impart the spiritual knowledge. He's asking him to enlighten him. This is the way one should receive the knowledge. That is what Prabhupada is saying in the purport also. So this is how one should get the knowledge. So I just share one story and then I will end the session here. So this story was narrated by one of the Brajvasis here. So there used to be a person who is coming from the lower caste. So he wanted to take initiation from a guru. So he approaches a Brahmana guru, and then he asked him to give him initiation. So the guru, understanding that this person is coming from the lower caste, he tells that person that you are not qualified yet to take initiation. So I cannot give you Diksha now. So for now, what you can do is you can stay in my hermitage, but you just have to clean and guard the hermitage at the outer perimeter of the hermitage. So as Guru instructed, he starts, he's guarding all the place and he's sweeping and he's keeping it very clean, the whole place in the outer perimeter of the ashram. So one day what happens, all the people in the so one day what happens is the Guru, he in the morning he goes for his morning rituals, to perform his morning rituals. Then before going to go for washroom, what he does is there's a well. So he takes out the water from the well and he fills up the water in the bucket, and he keeps the is a jug also next to the bucket, and he goes for his morning rituals. And then when he comes back, while he is coming back, what happens? Meanwhile, some animals come, like monkeys and all. They come and they make the whole. They throw the bucket off, the bucket full of water. They throw it off, and then they make a whole place dirty, and then they go off. So seeing this, this disciple of this person who is a lower caste disciple, he sees this and he thinks that, oh, my guru is going to come and it will not have water. So he has to use the water because he has to take bath now. So what does he do? He will go and he will pick up the water from the well, and then he'll fill the bucket. So the guru sees from the far that, this person is filling the water in the bucket. So because he's an outer caste, he's from the lower caste, usually in those days, they don't let, the brahmanas don't touch anything that is being touched by the lower caste people. So low caste people. So the guru gets angry at this person, and then he speaks swear words to his disciple, and he says that, why did you touch? Who asked you to do this? Why did you do all these things? And he gives us swear words. But this person, he thinks that this disciple, he thinks that, oh, the guru is giving me mantra. He thinks that these are the mantra for initiation. So he takes those words and he just goes from that place. And then he, as usual, he is doing his duty. So one day what happens, the guru is sitting inside his hermitage, and all his other disciples, they all go to the next village for some, there was a bandar that is going on. So they all just go. And actually even the guru also wanted to go. And though he is sitting inside the hermitage, he's thinking that, I should go, I should have gone to the bandar and I should have sold some sheep and calves. So, auctioned some sheep and calves. So he's thinking all that. He's calculating in his mind all that, and he's actually thinking of going in the mind. He was thinking like that. Then at the same time, one acquaintance of this guru comes to meet the guru. So as he about to enter inside, then this disciple who is guarding outside, he says, sir, you cannot go inside. Then this person asks, why I cannot go? Because my guru is not there. He has actually gone to the next village. He went to a village to do the auction of calves and sheep, goats and sheep and calves. So he says, like, you have to wait until the guru comes back. Then he says, okay. So he's just waiting there. And after some time, the guru comes out of his hermitage. And when he comes out, he sees this acquaintance is sitting over there. And he goes and asks, how come you are here and you did not come inside? Then he says, hey, your disciple told me not to enter because you have gone to sell the goats and calves. So the guru calls the disciple, and he says, like, why did you tell lies when I'm sitting inside the hermitage? Why did you not allow him to enter inside? Why did you not allow him to meet me when I'm inside the hermitage? So the person says, but Gurudev, you have actually gone for auctioning the cattle, so to the other village. So how can you meet this person? So I was waiting you to return. So the guru then thinks that, how does he know that I am thinking all this in my mind? So he asks him, how do you know that I was going to the village to auction? So the disciple says, no, you gave me Diksha, no, from that time onwards, I can understand your heart. Your heart is revealed to me. So the Guru does not understand. He says, when did I initiate you? When did I give you Diksha? So he says, no, the day when I filled the water of bucket for you, the day you have you spoke to me some words. From that onwards, I'm chanting those words. So as the Diksha mantra. So I'm chanting those words, and from then onwards, I happen to understand your heart. So this is the power of faith. This is the power of faith. The disciple had so much of faith in the Guru's words, even if they were swear words. He was with faith, with a lot of faith in the Guru. He was chanting those mantras, and because of which he could understand the heart of Guru is revealed. So Guru understood that this is a real disciple, is a first class disciple. The first class disciple is one who can understand the heart of the disciple. So this is how one has to be eager to take advice, to take instructions from the Guru. And the disciple has to be very sincere. So we see in the case of Chitraketu Maharaj also, he's very sincere. He's going and asking with so much enthusiasm, that's so much determination, like how much he had a determination to get the son. In the same way, he has a determination to get the self-realization, knowledge of self-realization, not transcendental knowledge. Okay, with this, I'll end here. If you have any questions and queries or comments, you can just let me know. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions? Okay, if you don't have anything, thank you so much. Thanks to all of you for your patient hearing. अनंतकोटि वैष्णव की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Dandavat.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji. Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Pranams,
Dandavat pranam.
Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Dandavat.